Hello and welcome to the Behind Closed Doors podcast. My name is Alicia Aberley and I'm so grateful that you have joined us in this space. Behind Closed Doors is all about the types of conversations that we only usually have with our best friend, our partner, our counselor, our coach. And sometimes it's the conversations that we don't actually have with anybody else at all. The women that are interviewed in this space are all women that are making a difference to the planet. They're women that are inspiring and empowering. The intention is that you too will feel inspired and empowered by these conversations. So grab a cup of your favorite drink, pop your feet up, and enjoy this episode of Behind Closed Doors. Today's guest is a British-born actress, host, voiceover artist, and entrepreneur based in Los Angeles. Her first passion was acting. She loved the buzz she got from telling stories and affecting people through her performances. She has starred in numerous feature films, television shows, commercials, and traveled the world playing Susanna Moyer in Ingress, the original game from the creators of Pokémon Go. In 2016, she decided to pursue her second love, being of service and helping others. She was tired of the Hollywood hustle and instead put her focus and attention on her own projects. In March 2016, she launched Uplifting Content, an inspirational digital platform with a following of over 1.3 million across social media channels. Our guest is passionate about inspiring people to live their dream life and be of service, and she is a champion of anyone who is on a mission to help others and the planet. Hello and welcome, Ione.
Thank you. That's an awesome introduction. Thank you. Hi. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. You're doing some amazing things for the planet. I think it's so important.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's just, we're all doing it, as are you, being of service. I love it.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you. So before we dive deep into our topic today, could you share a little bit more about uplifting content with us, please?
Yeah, so I started it because I was tired of seeing negative content everywhere. I came out to LA to do acting and I just wouldn't watch television because there was nothing on TV that made me feel good. I stopped watching the news about 5 or 6 years ago because it was just bringing me down and it was just making me feel hopeless and helpless. And I just also stopped watching television because everything was about conflict or, you know, you only to be happy, you need to be in a relationship or like having all these things equates to happiness. And I'm like, these are not, I just don't believe in it. And it doesn't make me feel good to watch it. And so I wanted a place where, and I deal with depression on and off. And I just wanted to be able to find uplifting content. And so that was where the idea of it came from. And so it started off as a Facebook page where we would share uplifting and inspirational content. And I've recently just built the website. And the idea is that it's a hub of inspiration. We find amazing content creators that make uplifting videos or write amazing articles and just have it on the page. And then people, just regular people who make stuff that inspires them and once they want to help other people, they submit it. So we've got my uplifting content where they can do that. We've got uplifting causes where people who are trying to help and do something, we can feature their cause and encourage the community to like get involved and help and contribute and do what they can to help. And then we've got like a forum where people can just support each other and help. And so it's basically, just a place where you can come to be uplifted is the idea of the company.
It's such a beautiful space.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for creating that for everybody.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming, but it's necessary. That's the tagline, uplifting content, because the world needs more of it. So
beautiful. Ione, you also have a clothing range in relation to go side by side with depression, yeah?
Yeah, kind of. It's called Uplifting Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so each month there is a design with a special meaning behind it. And so the first one is this one right now. It says birthplace, earth, race, human, politics, equality, religion, love. And it's a reminder for people that when we stop using labels to divide us, we're reminded that we are one. All of those things are applicable for all of us. I think we could all believe in love. We can all say that we were born on earth. Our race is human. Politics, you'd hope people would want equality for equal opportunity for people. And so when we just stop dividing each other, stop using things to divide ourselves. So that's the message of that one. We are one. And then we had another one, never give up. And it's no matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. And for me, I deal with depression. And so that one was like the reminder that I need in times of stress just to get up and not give up And it's just, yeah. So everything has a meaning. And the new one for next month is it's I got you. It's the universe saying I've got you. I got you. Because a lot of the time just put a lot of stuff out into the universe and just trust that there's a good out there that's got my back. And I wholeheartedly believe that the universe has my back. So yeah. So every month there's a different shirt with a different meaning, a different design.
Are you coming up with these designs?
Yeah, I have the designs, and then I brainstorm with our graphic designer to sort of get them looking how we want them to look. Yeah,
fantastic. That one looks really amazing. I might jump on myself and get that one.
Bless you. Awesome. I'd love it. I'll send you a discount.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll also pop the links where people can get their own. There'll be links everywhere. You're welcome.
Yay. Get linked up.
Ione, with the depression side of things for you, how do you go? You're in the limelight a lot. You have such a massive profile. You're all over social media and you're so grounded. With the experience that you have with depression, how does that play out for you?
It can be really tough. And especially, so last week I had a particularly tough time. I was just dealing with a lot of stress. And for me, there's certain triggers. It's normally if I'm worried about finances, if I feel financially unstable, if I start to doubt myself and my ability and my talent, or like managing my businesses, if I start to doubt that brings me crashing down. And then the big thing is suffering of other people. Like that's kind of what digs me down. One of the hardest things, because that's the one thing that's out of my control. And so I've got better understanding it. And so now I just, rather than before where I used to like fight it and resist it and beat myself up about it. And you need to like get up, like get out of bed. Like you're a failure. You need to do blah, blah, blah. Now I just let myself be, allow myself to feel the sadness, allow myself to just like, if I'm not going to move, I'm not going to move. And remembering that it will pass. And usually it does. Like it used to go on for days, like really tough times where I'd turn off my phone, not leave the house, and just be sad. And now it passes a lot quicker, and I know that will pass, and it's okay just to be there and feel it and experience it and not resist it. And then another thing that I've also started to do is I feel really passionately about being honest and open about it. What I really dislike about social media is everybody just portraying one side of their life, these shiny, happy lives where everything is perfect. And look at my picture that I've, took 17 pictures to get the right one and put lots of filters and like, oh, hashtag my life is great, hashtag everything's amazing. I know that has really, seeing other people, stuff like that has made me feel worthless about my life. And I just know that it's not true. And so I try to, as much as possible, be honest about the struggles that I'm going through as much as the highs, so that other people know that it's okay to talk about it. And so last week I was having a particularly tough time, and I posted a picture of me just on the floor crying, because that was that was all I could do that day, just be on the floor and cry. Yeah. And instantly from sharing it, I felt better. I didn't, and it's not like I know how to deal with it now. I know what I need to do. Like I know that it's going to pass, and it wasn't about needing people to talk to or whatever, because I know I've got loving friends and stuff like that. For me, it was just being able to say, I feel like shit right now. And I just want to share it with you guys. And I know it's going to pass, and I know there's other people feeling this way, and I'm really sorry, but it will pass. You'll get through it. Like I get through it. But yeah, this is sometimes me, and I want to show up on social media honestly. And I had a huge response, which was like really, one, just like how loved I am from not only my friends and family, but from strangers who I've never met before, just commenting. Like humans are so beautiful and loving and kind and amazing. That's humanity, but we only ever hear the side of humanity that is killing and suffering and all this horrible stuff. And you forget that the majority of humans are loving and want to help and beautiful people. And so that was really incredible. But one of the things that really struck me was I had a lot of friends open up about, I'm going through the same type of thing, and I don't feel like I can talk about it to people. Like this has really helped me see that it's okay to open up. And I had another friend message, with all your traveling and all your business ventures, I never would have thought that you would have struggled like that. I deal with depression too, and you just seem to have this like perfect life. And so and again, it's like let's be real about it. Like it's more common than you think. And it's not, I just want to be transparent. And I know that sharing these things help people, and it helps me. So I just try and be authentic when I feel it or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's so important on social media. I'm with you there. I feel the same way. And every single time I post something that's vulnerable, once the healing's done and then post the vulnerability, I notice that the response is similar. When people send those private messages, thank you so much, I'm doing the same thing. And I guess that's the human element, isn't it?
Yeah. And we just want to connect. A lot of the times people, I don't know why do we suffer in silence? Like, why? When you're not alone, when there's other people going through it, and there's people that love you and want to help you, like, why do we do it? Why do we pretend? And so I just don't pretend anymore. It feels much better.
I agree with you. Hence why Behind Closed Doors was created in the first place.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So in just one more thing there with the depression, how do you find for yourself, other than that, is there anything else that you do, just for any of our listeners that may be experiencing that themselves, who may be finding it a little bit hard just to stop and breathe through that at the moment and have that awareness? What would you say to them as something that they could do, just one step to help them in that space?
Wow, I normally say so many things, so one step is hard.
You can tell me, you go as many as you want.
Got it. For me, I think that like you said, it's the awareness. As soon as I've got the awareness of a thing, and then I just start to listen, because to me, the suffering and the depression comes from my thinking about certain things. It's always triggered by something, and it's always my way of thinking, whether I feel like I'm gonna struggle financially, or whether I feel like I'm failing really miserably, or whether I feel like the end of the world is coming and what hope and what can I do, and people suffer all the time. So it's the thoughts. And so as soon as the feelings start, there's a book called Ask and It Is Given that I love, and in it they say that your emotions are your body's way of telling you that how your thoughts are. So if you are sad, angry, any of those lower emotional states, it's because your thoughts aren't in alignment with who you are. And so for me, as soon as I start to have the feeling of depression, I just start to listen to what it is of the thoughts that I'm thinking, because that's what's causing me the suffering most of the time. And so it's just having an awareness of that. Now as well, it's not about just trying to just snap out of it, like giving myself a hard time about it, allowing myself to feel the sadness, feel whatever it is that's going on, like just observe it, sit with it, be with it, experience it. And then there's like lots of things I do, like get out in nature. I always listen, like reading. To me, reading personal development books, spiritual books, just anything like that. What am I consuming in my mind? What am I watching stuff that inspires me and uplifts me? That's why I was so upset. That's why I started uplifting content too, because I'm like, why is it hard to find stuff to put me in a good mood? It shouldn't be this difficult. So that's why we have the page and the website now. And so, yeah, what are you consuming through your eyes, your ears? What are you eating? And then exercising, like getting out and doing like yoga and things like that really helped me. So, but yeah, the first step is awareness. And a book that really changed my life was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And that was the first time that I realized that my thoughts were not true. And the thoughts were what was causing me all the suffering, and I could change my thoughts. So that was a huge, huge thing that just like shifted everything. And the depression doesn't go away. I still go through bouts of depression, but I have a different understanding of it now. I'm aware of what's going on. I know that it's something that I'm experiencing. I'm not so caught up in it that I'm not so identified with it that I can't, I'm detached from it now. This is a feeling because of the thoughts I'm thinking, and they'll pass, and I know how to change them. So
I'd like to use that as well for anxiety. I've also experienced anxiety over the last few years, and through the awareness and understanding that anxiety is not me, it's something that occurs from thoughts. Or actually for me also, and someone shared this with me, it really helped a lot, is that it's an alert system. If I'm out of whack, if I'm not doing what lights me up, if I'm making decisions that aren't serving me, then my body will go into alert mode. And that's from an anxious point of view. So everything that you've just said, I'd love to back up. That book, that was revolutionary for me. 18 months ago, I read that book, and it'd been on my bookshelf since I was 20. So a very long time. years, and really shifted a lot for me. I think when we can realize and understand that what's going on for us isn't us, it's just something that's occurring, then we can stop beating ourselves up and begin to just relax a little bit and allow it to do what it needs to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say with The Power of Now, like, it's, for some people it might be quite a difficult read, and I feel like we're all at different levels of consciousness. And so for me, like, my awakening, if you will, has happened over a period of time, and I'm still developing and growing, and I feel like my level of consciousness grows, and sometimes it dips and sometimes it grows. So you might pick it up and it just make no sense. And that sometimes happens to me. And then there's the first time I read it, it was just so what I needed to hear at the time, and everything made perfect sense. And so I go back to it now and again when I'm dealing with certain things, and sometimes it like completely resonates and sometimes it doesn't. But I would just say keep going with it and keep going at it, because there'll come a time where you read it and it will just click and you're like, wow. I just remember reading it because there's The Power of Now and A New Earth, and all my stresses and worries in reading it going, because it was all about reminding me of the present. Right now, I'm totally fine. It's the thoughts that are causing all these things. And so, yeah, such a good book. I'm glad that you read it. Have you read A New Earth yet?
I have it on my bookshelf, but I haven't read it yet. I have so many books. I'm a bookaholic. So,
yeah, you'll get through it.
I've stopped myself from buying books at the moment. I've bought about 20 this year, so I'm still working through those. Literally 20, no joke. I have just bought so many. In that, I just want to back you up there. For that book, I read so much, and I agree with you in that, with the consciousness and the level and how we can go up and then we can come down, and it's a continuous growth. We're never there. For me, I could only ever read 10 pages at a time. It did my head in, and I had to go back and reread and yeah, I had heard that myself, that it was quite a challenging read. I know they have Practicing the Power of Now, which is a little bit more simple to read if you find The Power of Now a little bit challenging. I'm with you though, just keep reading, because it took me probably 3/4 before the light bulb actually went off, and then that was just such a emotional, physical and mental shift for me.
Yeah, me too. Like, everything just switched. Just that understanding that my thoughts are not true. Just because I think it, I don't have to believe it. And it was the thinking the things that was causing me to suffer. Like, everything changed after that. I was like, wow, I have control over this. It's amazing.
So we're gonna go from really deep conversation to some light conversation now.
Love it. Love the variety.
Yeah, a bit of balance, right?
Yes.
So Ione, you have multiple lovers. You are not someone who's settled down with one person, and I am so excited to pull back the covers on this and share your experience.
Yeah. I currently don't have any lovers, but I have had, up until recently, I have had. And so I love to talk about this because for me, I've always been, I feel like people are relationship people, or they're single people. And I have either friends that are always in relationships and go from one to the next, and they always just seem to do it. And I'm like, how do you do that? And then I don't. Like, I just never meet anybody that I could see myself being in a relationship with. But then I really enjoy sex, and have people that I love, and like guy friends that I love, but just don't kind of see it as a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship with them, but I still love them and enjoy spending time with them and enjoy sleeping with them. So yeah, that was kind of my workaround for being an ever single person. And it's been interesting. It's definitely been an interesting experience. And when we discussed the idea of talking about this topic, you were saying that you're not sure that you could ever do it in a relationship. And here's the interesting thing. Whenever I have feelings about one person, I don't really like to be with anybody else when the feelings are there. When there's like sort of real kind of, I feel like, yeah. And so I don't know how people so much do it to have like open relationships and stuff, although I'm open to that because I've never been in a long-term relationship. And I feel like 50 years of marriage or whatever, I probably definitely would want to have an experience with someone else in that time. So before I had this very narrow-minded thing of, monogamy. You're in a relationship. If you love somebody, that's it. You're with that person for the rest of your life. And then I kind of grew up and started to have other experiences and realized, is that really the way? I mean, it's different for different people. I just know that in an amount of time, I probably would want to have a sexual experience with somebody else or be with somebody else. So I'm now open to the idea of polyamory, even though I've not been in a relationship to have that. And even though when I have been in relationships in the past, I've just wanted to be with that person. So yeah, I'm all over the place with this.
What do you think it is in you? Do you think you're just wired that way, or is there something within you that, like, we're all different, right? In this conversation we did have, for me, it's like, I'm not one to have ever just had random sex. And I know you talked about that too. That's not something that interests you either. And if people love that, so be that. That's awesome. For me, it's just never been that way. And I am such a one person. Yeah, I'm open to everybody else's way of being. I think it's fantastic. You choose what suits you. But I do struggle a little bit in my mind to go, hey, could I have multiple? If I wasn't with my partner, would I have multiple lovers? Or in my relationship, could I have an open relationship? And I have thought about that with my partner. There's been times I've said to him, you know what, if you need to have other women in your life, then we need to talk about this. Like, let's just check if this is something that is a fit for both of us. It hasn't gone that way, but I'm conscious of that too. So for you, how does it work for you? Do you know, how do you have
I think it's normally that it's friends that I love and care about, people that I've already had relationships with that I'm very comfortable with, where there's respect, and we can still go out and have a great time and do things. But it's just that understanding of I'm also happy for you to be single and to date other people and to have your life, and you're my friend. I think for me, it's just, you're my friend, and I'm attracted to you, and we can sleep together. I just think that I don't know, for me it's, and here's the thing, like and so you say, are we wired differently? I totally agree that we're all wired differently. But for me, I enjoy having sex. And if you're not in a relationship, to me, it's the best way of doing that, is like having loving sex with people that you care about. If you're not in a relationship. So for me, it works. Yeah, and it's interesting because so recently it was 3 people that I was seeing, one in Denver and 2 guy friends in LA. And obviously the one in Denver, there was the distance, so we didn't get to see each other very much. And then the 2 in LA. But usually what happens is I don't like sleeping. I would never have a week where I slept with 3 different guys. I just find that that's just a bit weird. Normally it would be, I would go away with the guy in Denver and we would have our, I call them like pretend boyfriends, where we're together. And then in that week or so, or however long we have together, it's like we hold hands and we have sex and we talk, and it's like being in a relationship, and then we leave each other, and then we're just free people doing our stuff. And so with the 2 in LA, I started to develop feelings for one of them, and so then I didn't really want to be with anybody else for a little bit too, and then that didn't really work out with him because he just wasn't being very honest. And for me, communication is the most important thing in these situations. Being clear about how I feel, how they feel, if they're seeing other people. Like I like my lovers to tell me about other people that they're seeing, because then for me, it reminds me of what this relationship is. If they feel like they can't tell me about somebody else that they're seeing, then that's not a friendship relationships. Then they feel like they're doing something wrong, that they're hiding something, and that shouldn't be what it is. So I like us to be able to communicate other people what's going on, and it's like cool, because that's the conversation that you would have with a friend, and that is my relationship with people. So yeah, it's interesting, and I've really enjoyed it, and I feel like a Dawn, just being like, my love is in different area codes. It's really fun. It's fun.
You say it so beautifully too. It's very sexy the way you say it. The curl of the tongue. I love it. Yeah.
It's awesome. Everyone should try it.
I like that you have a freedom there. I really do. I think there's so much freedom that comes in that space. And for you with sexuality, do you just have a total freedom in your body? Is it just like because I know a lot of women are tense and tight in that.
Oh, and that makes me so sad. Yeah, when I was younger, I've been reading the 5 love. I just finished reading the 5 love languages. This book about, and we all speak different love languages. And mine is touch, and it always has been touch. And I realized that just from a young age, that to me, like, I liked to have sex because I like to be touched, and I like that intimacy, and I like that with people. But I was never in relationships. And so when I was younger, it was a little bit more like going out and getting drunk and being with people, which is not really what I wanted. And so that was never very good. And I never quite felt comfortable with myself and with my body. And then when I was about 18, I started doing art modeling and I finished drama school. And so, you know, posing naked in art classes and stuff for artists. And it was the first time that I just really got to love my body. And it's beautiful, art modeling. And I would recommend it to anybody that has body issues, because people are looking any shape and size. It's not, they don't care. You're fascinating. Like, regardless of what you look like, artists love it because you're a different body to draw and it's a new challenge. And just having compliments like, you have an amazing body to draw and it's so wonderful drawing you. And like, it's not like, oh, sexy. Like, it's just a very different type of compliment about my body. And so I did that for a really long time. And that just helped me be okay with me. And then I stopped drinking a few years ago as well. And then that kind of shifted relationships. So it was less about just like meeting somebody and being like, oh, he's cool, let's do it. It was more about like making the decision, which I'm glad that shifted, because yeah, there's definitely times that I've been with people that I just wish I hadn't. But again, it's just sad. It was that wanting to feel intimacy and connection and love. And so I'm like, oh, that was sad, but I'm over that now. And then now I find it from people that I'm comfortable with and respect, and know that I have the respect back and care about each other. So
do you feel, if you were to have a relationship, in your experience, for being someone that's not really explored that space of long term, do you feel that you feel a little bit trapped in that space if you were to be locked in with one person?
I don't think so, because in the times where I've been in relationships before, I haven't been interested in other people. Like, I haven't wanted to. And even with the guys that I've been seeing, or my lovers, I see what you mean. I do put on a funny voice when I say it, lovers. Even in those relationships, anytime I do start to get feelings towards them, I don't want to be with anybody else. So I don't think I would be trapped. But I definitely feel like I would want to communicate a lot about what I was going through. And also I want to travel a lot. And so if I'm traveling for months of the year, then I would like that to be an open conversation of, you know, how do we feel about this? Do we want to be exclusive when we're not seeing each other for months on end, or do we want to allow each other to have different experiences? So no, I don't think I would feel trapped. I like being in relationships, actually, and I really want to be in one. I'm cool with that. Yeah. With the right person, rather than just for the sake of it.
And so many of us women, I know for myself, it's like that neediness. As I was growing up, I would choose men that just didn't fit for me because I was craving that love so much. My self-love was so low, even though I have always been a sexual being. Just my confidence of self was not there. So I'd just take whatever was there, any relationship. Oh, you like me? Great, I'm in. And I found that was not serving me at all. I think it's taken a long time for me to have self-love and not need somebody else to fill that side of me. So it'd be interesting if I wasn't with my partner to see how I felt in that space.
Yeah. So are you a relationship person? Someone that's you like always in relationships?
Not someone who, like, I'm long term. So I've never been someone to jump from a relationship to relationship, you know, 3 years, 5 years, 5 years. I think my current partner, we've been together for 5 years as well. I don't see outside of that right now for him and I. I just love him. So I know we can have multiple loves, but my body just loves him. So it's I don't like the jump either. I think once we've come out of one space, it's just personal preference. Once we come out of one space, we've shifted and changed, and there's more growth for us to do. And I think heal the heart first before you jump in, just personal preference, before you jump into something else. Reconnect with yourself, because I feel that a lot of people in society can give away their everything for somebody else.
I was just talking about this. People who expect other people to be the cause of their happiness, or other people to make them happy, and it's just anything. Whenever you put anything outside of yourself, I will not be happy unless I get this job. I will not be happy unless I'm in this relationship, married with kids. It's the law of impermanence. Anything that exists will end. So when you are trying to seek happiness in something outside of you, you're going to fail, because that will end. That relationship, anything, it's going to end eventually. And so it's realizing that you're the only one that can bring you happiness. Also, not being attached, like not having attachment to relationships, like enjoying someone, loving someone, yes, wanting to be together, being honest, but knowing that if that relationship was to end, you could still be happy. you could still find peace. Your life is still amazing. And when you give so much power to people, it's incredibly dangerous to use someone else as your thing of happiness. How mean is that, to put that on somebody else as well? I will not be happy unless you're doing all the things that I want you to do. I can't be happy unless I'm with you. I can't be happy unless I have those things. Like, it's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's just definitely remembering that I'm the one that's responsible for my happiness, no one else. And there was a time where I wanted to be in a relationship, and I was really sad about being single, and just felt, and I've got a couple of girlfriends that are kind of, getting into early 30s and just kind of starting to just feel a bit frustrated that they're not in a relationship. And I definitely felt that way. But now, genuinely, I would love to be in a relationship. I would love to start a family. Like, I want to get married and whatever. But I don't need it. I don't feel like I need it. I'm very happy with me. It would be lovely to, after work, be able to share moments with somebody and go traveling with people, because I'm traveling a lot now. And so now I'm trying to be more open to relationships, because for the longest time I've just been like, I don't need a man. But yeah, I don't need one, but I would like one. And that's the difference. I'm not sad to be single. I don't think that being in a relationship is going to change my life and make all my problems go away. I don't believe that. And so it's quite difficult to get to that place too, but I think it's really important too.
I think self-love is the ultimate there, from someone who's experienced one extreme to going to now and having that detachment from the need. I've not personally ever been someone to put my happiness basket in somebody else's life. I have experienced that though. And I find there's so much pressure in that, if somebody has that expectation of you, so much pressure to be put on a pedestal for somebody else's happiness. That's hard on the person that's receiving that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, energetically too. But I love that we're on such an energetic frequency that, regardless of whether it's through action or not, we can feel it on all levels. So I think it's interesting. Just more self-love.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And that's, I guess, the thing with my lovers thing too, is it's self-love. It's knowing what I want and what I don't want, and making decisions that, just being cool with me and my decisions, and having the experiences that I want to be having. And if I don't feel good about it, then I don't do it anymore. And but yeah, self-love is so, so important. I had a friend once say to me, "Oh, you're like Samantha from Sex and the City." And I was like, no, not really. I don't like sleeping with strangers. I don't go and meet a different guy every night and have sex with him. I sleep with friends that I love and care about, over a long period of time. It's very different. It's just that it's more than one person. So yeah.
Ione, I think what just clicked in for me there is that there are so many expectations in society of how things should be, and we follow a certain way because we think that's how we should be, and we reject those feelings because we think, oh well, if I want multiple lovers, often people would think, if I want multiple lovers, there's something wrong with me, or people will judge me. And I think I find it really empowering that you can stand in what you want. That's really inspiring.
Yeah it is. And to me, it's like, you only are upset by judgments if somebody was to say that I'm a slag or a whore or whatever. I feel like you only ever get upset and bothered by those things if you believe them yourself. And I am totally happy with the decisions that I make, and own my decisions, and am proud of me and my life and what I do. And so I think it's that. And yeah, putting aside, I said this earlier again today, it's not my business what other people think of me. I can't control what other people think of me. I just do what I feel is right, being kind, being loving, being honest. I try not to hurt people, and through that I'm incredibly honest about my feelings and what I want, and just very clear, and then let other people make the decisions. And I'm cool with all of that. So yeah, I just think that people should do what makes you happy, as long as you are taking care of yourself, and it's what you want, then yeah, why not? And you don't have to tell people, like, you have to do a podcast about it like I am. You can just do what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? I just don't mind talking about things.
I'm really grateful that you are happy to talk about this. I feel like it's really liberating. And I know that the listeners will get a lot out of this conversation. If anything, follow your own heart. What lights you up? Don't worry about the rules and what society says. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, we're so conditioned to behave in certain ways. And it just, it's just like, question it. Question, why do, when my friend has a baby girl, do we have to go out and buy a bunch of pink things and blue things? Like, why do we do these things? Like, just start questioning these things that we've been told to do. And what do you want to do? What feels right for you to do? We need to start thinking for ourselves. And for me, yeah, like I say, all I care about is, my philosophy in life is don't cause harm to yourself or others. And so I'm not causing harm to myself. I'm being incredibly honest with the people that I'm with. And to me, that's that you're not causing harm. You might, if there's somebody, for example, that was getting more attached and wanted to be in a different relationship and I was lying about it, then that's causing harm to others. And I would never do that. I would always be honest about it. And so I just feel like, yeah, do what you want to do so long as you're not causing harm to yourself or others. And people that judge, anyone that judge is not in a good place with them. You don't judge other people. You don't put other people down. The reason that people judge and put other people down is because it makes them feel better about themselves. It gives them like a higher, I'm better than you because you're a slag, or I'm better than you because you're failing at this, or you've made those decisions, or that how they discuss. People who are okay with them do not do that. They don't bitch about other people. They don't judge other people. They don't slag other people off. They're okay with them. And so I just wish that more people found peace. And so that when I do see that or I hear that, luckily, like I have an amazing people in my life that aren't kind of those types of people. But when I do experience that, to me, I just feel like it just makes me sad, because you're obviously not good with you to have that much kind of resentment for someone else or judgment. So.
Yeah, it's a good trigger point, I find, if you're listening and you're finding that you're someone who's quite judgmental, which can be easy for us to do. You know, sometimes I'll catch myself going, oh, why is she wearing those shoes? And it's like, I'm so quick to pull myself out of my judgment. It's something I've worked on, a lot, so that I'm not a judgmental human in my space, because we all have freedom to do what we want and we're all individuals. So why place that judgment? But if you're someone who's listening and you find that you're quite judgmental, you know what? It's just a trigger point for learning and growth for you. So a question I love to ask is, do I actually believe this right now? Or why do I feel this way right now? Just to do a little bit of self-inquiry and have a look at that. You know, takes a little bit of time sometimes to break a habit. And if that's a habit you've got yourself into, you can get out of it if you want to.
So true. And my mum does it a lot. My mum, she doesn't like tattoos. So anyone that's tattooed, she kind of goes off in this thing with tattoos and that. And I say, why do you care, mum? Well, because when they're older, it's going to look all stretched and wrinkly. But why do you care? Well, because Mum, it's their skin. Why do you care about somebody else's skin? Like, just think about it. And she never answers me, or it's like kind of judgy on what other people are saying. And so I question her, and I hope that she kind of starts to delve into the why. Because for me, it's like, so long as somebody's not harming anybody, why does it matter what they do to their body? How they dress, who they love, like, why? Yeah. Because it's conditioned, usually it's conditioned thinking. And so we have to wake up and think for ourselves and stop being told what to think and blindly having thought. Humans are so easily manipulated, so easily controlled and manipulated. And so for me, it's just like, I just question everything. And like you say, ask those questions. Why do I care? Why am I having these thoughts? What is it? Does it matter? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the closer you come to self-love, in my own experience and the work that I do with women as well, I find that the more self-love you have, the less that you're judgmental, because there's so much more, so much gratitude in the space.
Agreed.
Ione, this has been a great conversation. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we wrap it up?
Oh, no, I just want to say thank you for having me. I think it's a fantastic idea for a podcast, just to unveil some of these things that aren't talked about all the time. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I think I've said it a lot. So I think
what you have said has been so valuable, and I think it's really important to get this out to the world, and just that message to be you, and whatever lights you up, go with that. So where is the best place for our listeners and viewers to find you?
Yeah, I would say check out our new website, upliftingcontent.com. And so, yeah, you'll have access to everything on there. The Facebook page, we post a lot of stuff every day. So, yeah, it's just uplifting content because the world needs more of it on Facebook. And then if you go to like, and then you have to like the page, and then you do following, see first. That's the only way you'll ever see any of our posts in your newsfeed. And so that would be the best way to, yeah, the website or the Facebook page. And then just uplifting content anywhere else.
Fantastic. Thank you. And again, I will put those links all over social media as well so people can find you easily. Thank you. This has been so much fun. Thank you to you, Ione. Thank you to each and every single person who has tuned in for this episode. If you have loved this, please hit the subscribe button if you're on iTunes. If you are on YouTube, please share the love also. You'll also find us we're all over every social media platform, so you'll find us somewhere. That's it from me today. Thank you again, Ione, and I will catch you all next week. Bye.